That's what you think our girl looks like?
I was trying to figure that out.
I'm going with Gal Gadot.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And in fact, you know what I thought was funny is I wasn't quite looking. I was just trying to find the book that we're doing, and these all popped up. But before this popped up was it's not even on there. Anyways, it was Gal Gadot. I put Wonder Women in or whatever I put in. The first it was this chick here, and then Gal Gadot. I think it's Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. She's pretty great.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're doing the book club, but the biggest news is well, I mean, let's talk about KMS and let's talk about the news that broke, I guess, this morning.
Yeah, the shots heard around the world.
Did you watch it? First, let's make sure everybody's watched it. So I did get that.
I watched that.
I did get it sort of ready. Let's see if I can find it here. Up here. And I figured out kind of a way to go over the week is just sort of scroll through the KMS show's feed.
That's a good idea. I like that.
At the very least, we won't miss any of the big things that they wanted to talk about.
Were you angry? Were you angry?
I was very angry at first. So here we go. Let's see.
Tomorrow we're going to experiment a little bit on the podcast timeline. Feed. Yes. So
I was having a hissy fit.
I've had a good, healthy conversation. They know, and like it's a hard out. June 2024, I'm done. So I'm retiring. I'm not doing this podcast anymore. June 2024. They know that. They've asked. I've said. So they've been really great. They've been awesome. So I don't know, maybe a month, 6 weeks, a month, whatever it was. I said, do you mind if we start experimenting a little bit with your subscription base, with your podcast subscription base, and every couple of months try something new in there just to throw it in the mix, and not even like they don't think it's going to be like it's not going to be a show or anything, but just to see if they say they try a gambling show tomorrow. Right? I don't think that's what it is, or a movie show or a TV show with different Barstool personalities. What percentage of our subscription base downloads that specific episode? Mm-hmm. And I thought that's actually like outside the box smart thinking. Like I can't.
Okay, I've heard enough. I was very upset at first, yes. But as I thought about it, like, it's fine, whatever. And I think I was on Twitter. I read some stuff, and then I listened a little bit more to it. And if the idea is that, like, there's a group of people that need to be introduced to Barstool personalities, and this is a way to do it, I guess that's not the terriblest thing. I like Rico Bosco. I think he's funny. How inside your house?
How many minutes?
What's that? What did you say?
How many minutes did you think? How many minutes did you think about this situation today?
Well, thank God I didn't find out till the end of the day. Like I saw some guys on Twitter talking about something about it, but it didn't. Like I didn't really register, and I had other stuff going on. So until I saw that tweet. And then it's all I thought about. And, like, it preoccupied. Well, first it's just like, well, what am I going to do tomorrow? Right? Like, anyways. Yeah.
That's the biggest one, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God I don't have a long drive or anything. I think it'll be.
You want me to send you one that you can, like a good old one? I'll just send you a random one and you listen to that.
Maybe. Like, there's so much going on with politics and everything else that I think I'll be able to survive, and that's the other reason why it's like I think I can handle it. Friday's a good day to do something. This Friday especially is a good day to do whatever he wants to do, and again, like I said, if it's an opportunity, especially if it's an opportunity to give like Rigo Bosco some time to do his own thing, and maybe Kirk just doesn't want to be part of that, or maybe it's exactly everything that Kirk said it was, which is, I don't know, fine, I guess. I'm not going to complain. I'm the fan. He's the whatever semi-god
He's a
deity.
genius. He's a genius.
Genius. So, in that sense, we also had let's see, where is it? We had selling out of some theater. Did you think about going to that? I don't know. It's soon, right? It's like next week. There it is. I think it's soon.
2 weeks, but I don't want to go. Yeah, I think it's in 2 weeks.
I'm a fan. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you fine. You were cutting out earlier, but I can hear you fine now.
Oh,
well,
we're on a delay now.
You are. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Well, are you gonna jump off and jump back on, or is it whatever the case may be? I don't know. I've never watched the trivia show. I'm a fan of the with KMS and Kirk, I guess, but I can't follow all of his stuff. Like everything they do. I have a relatively normal life, or busy life at the very least. So KMS is the show. What can I say? Let's see. What else do we have going on? That's cute. That's good. I like that. So they sold out the show in 15 minutes, and I did not try to get tickets, but the tickets were relatively cheap. Here we go. And they're still, as of, I don't know, whenever this was, Saturday. No, it was Thursday morning, I guess. There was still 15 seats, looks like. I guess. I just, the format doesn't seem like something that I would enjoy. I kind of like the long form interviews, but I would like probably making fun of people. There we go. He's back. You should get like a landline, maybe. Yeah. Maybe like high speed internet. Maybe not a DSL.
Maybe not.
All right. So I was just saying that
I think my camera's working better now.
Well, it sounds better. You're a little less choppy. So, anyways, the sold out the dozen. I was saying it's not really a format for me. I don't. When the pandemic started or the first season, I watched maybe an episode. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I like trivia, but I like Jeopardy.
I like watching the dozen in the end because you can really get a sense of what's going on. I'll like fast forward to the end to find out if they're winning or losing, if it's a close match. Yeah,
well, like I said, it's still that's great that they sold it out in like 15 minutes. There's a couple seats left. I don't. Where do they?
Is it because BioDude? Is it because it's not your style of trivia?
Yeah, well, yeah, the format, like I just like Jeopardy. That's exactly what I said while you were logging off and back on. Is it's just like I don't even know the format. That's the thing, and that's the other thing I was saying while you were logging off and back on. Is I'm a huge fan of Kirk's and a big fan of KMS, but like almost everything else I can't even follow. He's in and out of different other programs for Barstool, but I can't keep up with all of that. It's just not in my wheelhouse. Not even like, but I know I could if I had the time. I just don't simply have the time. Anyways, let's see. I guess there was more show than I initially thought. Like I had written a couple nasty tweets, and then I thought, well, I probably shouldn't do that. I probably shouldn't send those tweets, which I didn't. It's just that I don't know. I think he's only doing like his contractual obligation amount, and I think that started after he broke the TV, and I think that was Dave's fault. So I kind of blame Dave for us only having like I'm not saying the bare minimum, and on top of that, why is this about the case? They haven't released the case yet. Why is the case taking up KMS time again?
You're jealous of the little brother.
It bugged me the first time around, and then I tried to be cool about it the second time because I like the idea of the dentist. I think that's a great idea. I have a lot of issues with dentists at the moment. So, but
maybe you have
now,
Dr. Dan's son as a dentist.
I don't know. Let's see. The doc thing. The doc thing was really funny. Like Dave Coney being stupid funny.
What?
And then Rico Bosco calling in. That was funny. I hope everybody can hear me.
Is Finn sleeping?
No, we kind of reined in the sort of letting them stay up later thing. That
yeah, but he doesn't have school tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, he's definitely not sleeping. Like I said, he wasn't sleeping either way. But that's right. You know, I have to work tomorrow. We've never had it off. 15 years.
That's because we work for Libs.
That's true.
They don't care about the soldiers.
Did anything else from KMS stand out to you?
Not that I can think of.
Oh, I mean, he took a couple shots at all the wrap-up shows. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if
He doesn't know we exist, dude.
I understand that. I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, I like that. I prefer it that way. I wouldn't want any attention.
Yeah.
But it's still interesting. Like we because I can't figure out which show he's talking about, but that's because I don't listen to them all. I assume most of the time he's talking about Men of Fandom or the one with
definitely that one.
Yeah.
Even he plays a lot of Matante. He was a big drunk.
I like Matante. I like Matante a lot. I think he's really funny, and I really actually I like him on the betting thing with Jerry. Like I do tune into that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I thought there was some of that. There was some of that talk with on KMS, which I like too. Yeah, that's a good combination. Jerry and Montante.
Yeah, it's a perfect combination, actually. They're like a pair.
Again, I know I said this last week, but especially if Jerry would play along, he just doesn't like. And when he does play along, it's funny. It is funny.
It's not natural for him.
No, it's not. And that thing he does it all the time for everything. It's like now you can't unsee it, which doesn't help. I don't know, man. I think we got a lackluster week. Whether or not it was, sorry about that. I get confused with the mouse where it's supposed to be at.
He always gets a little all over the place around his birthday.
Birthday? That's what I was going to ask you if you thought it had anything to do with his birthday. So yeah, 1 year it was Sacco. Was the first Sacco in October?
No, was that the makeup one?
Maybe the makeup one. I think there was one in October, but anyway, it might have been the fourth one. Now that I think about it, it doesn't matter. It went the TV to something's wrong. You don't think it has anything to do with like the case being pushed back? Like, what are they doing? Are they just filming? Like, are they recording more stuff for the current season of the case? You're
I
helpful.
don't know, man. No, because he doesn't really talk about it much.
No, he's all cryptic about it. I always figure other people must understand what he's talking about, but I certainly don't.
No, that's the point. He doesn't want anybody to.
Yeah, I get that. All right. Well, like I said, shortened week, so shortened wrap up. But upside to it is that I did read quite a bit of the book that we're doing, which is Warrior
Oh
Women.
yeah, I'm excited about this.
Okay, so let's start with the characters. So let's get into the book for the people that are following along with us, so to speak. We have Tetra, who is the warrior princess. She's a virgin, apparently, but sex is very different on her world, or in her world. Let's say her world comprised of a bunch of different planets at the moment, and she has a sex robot. What I thought would be fun, because we've already done it with the main character, is who do you picture as the sex robot? Oh, by the way, I should tell everybody she's a virgin and has not used the sex robot for sex yet. At least
Just for cuddling, because she has trauma.
Right. Yeah, that's fair enough. Exactly. That's exactly what's going on, it seems. Martha, who's the ship robot, I'm not sure how I feel about how this author writes androids and robots.
You don't like Martha? I like that name.
I like Martha just fine. I love the robot. It's very Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Martha is really cute. The world that she inhabits isn't right. Martha's a computer, right? And she's programmed the robot to rape Tetra, or at the very least to be incredibly aggressive at the worst moment. Tetra's planet has just been taken over by somebody, and all of her friends have been given into slavery.
Yeah, and she's escaping, and she's on this ship looking for another planet.
Right, and that's when the computer decides it's time for Tetra to lose her virginity, apparently. And the only way to do it, well, not the only way. This is the part that I have trouble with the computer robot. Is the robot is smart enough to program another robot, or to figure out a way. So the other robot is. Well, how would you describe him as far as emotionally there for her during this trip? I know you're a little bit ahead of me, but I've made it to. I think I made it to chapter 12.
Yeah. So the sex robot comes after her, and it's not a way she wants him to. So she programmed him a certain way. And then all of a sudden, he's just aggressive and he's stronger than her, she realizes.
Right. All true. But it's the way he's aggressive is subtly nudging. It's
like Pepe Le Pew.
like Pepe Le Pew. That's a great example of it. So that's weird. Well, that's very odd, that whole thing. And I don't even understand sort of where that storyline is going, because it's an android and it's a sex toy. I think she should have just used it as a sex toy, or not brought it along, because then she leaves it up on the spaceship and she's trapped on this planet where we meet Tikal, Shaka Khan. I can tell you
right.
This guy is in my head. I have this guy down already. I don't have the robot, android, sex machine, whatever. But go ahead.
No, who now I want to hear.
It's Tikal, I think. I think his name's Tikal. I still haven't really figured it out.
I have The Rock. He's like The Rock.
Oh, he's He-Man, the cartoon He-Man. I mean, he's got this giant saber-toothed cat that I think he might ride. Right? It's a heritage or something. It's a giant cat.
Yeah.
And
he's very robotic and concrete, and then gets mad at her because she doesn't understand his rules.
Okay, well, let's get into. We can skip through a bunch of stuff, but sort of the interplay there, which is what I found fascinating, absolutely fascinating. She doesn't want him. Then she wants him, but he's being polite. And I just think it's very cliche, I guess. You know, it was very silly. It seemed silly to me. Yeah. That thing, like she doesn't want him, then she gets beat up by him, and now she wants him.
It's a tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time.
It's what I like about it though is there's really no other characters but those two.
Now. Yeah, which is good. I was really so last week when we talked about it, I had just started, only got a couple chapters in, and I was really hoping for more of the sci-fi or the sex. This seems like neither of those things. Like I'm almost halfway through, and they just had sex. They haven't even had the sex yet. That's sort of where I stopped.
They start doing it a lot.
Oh, okay, good. Well, at least we'll get the sex then.
Yeah. It's very different than any of the books we've read.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like this book, I haven't really I remember some of the stuff, but it doesn't stick to my head.
Doesn't stick in your head, yeah.
You know?
Oh, I know. I'm trying not to let it stick in my head.
Yeah.
But I'm still wondering, about the guy.
I wonder if
and the weapons.
Yeah, if they're gonna solve her planet's problems.
No, I don't care about that. I do care about. I want to know how he got the. And I don't even think it's gonna happen. That's the other thing I was thinking about as I was reading it. I don't think I'm gonna find out any of this stuff. I think it was just sort of a throwaway line. I don't think that we're going to even explore this guy that got exiled, or the weapons. These swords they're swords and they're huge, but they have special metal and it deflects all the laser beams and renders the weapons almost useless. So that stuff is the stuff that interests me, and I don't think we're going to get much of it.
It's like the Black Panther medal or whatever.
Right. That's exactly what it sounds like. But it was maybe if she read I suppose. I mean, it's hard to say because it was from the 90s when she wrote it.
Yeah.
But some stuff seems prophetic. She talks a lot about sort of the teleconferencing stuff, like what we're doing now, which I thought was interesting. But then I think, 90, 92, 93, that was Star Trek The Next Generation, and they were doing all that stuff too. So, I mean, I think it was probably in the zeitgeist already. So
yeah, totally. Yeah, so it was you're not ripping anybody off. You're just with a good idea.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. I have about 4 hours left of it. I think I should be able to get through it this weekend.
Yeah, same.
I don't know. Do you want to do a holiday book next?
Yeah, why not?
Do you want to do something fictional or non-fictional?
You have one in mind?
I don't have anything in mind other than, no. Going back to the Christmas sweater.
Nah, I'll pass on that. Let's do, let me think on it, but
Great Expectations is one of my favorites, and I've always considered it a Christmas book. It's not, but I think he goes through at least one Christmas. I know he goes through a bunch of different holidays.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, with Miss Havisham and...
she's the crazy lady, right, in the window?
Crazy lady, exactly. Yeah.
This lady, though, does write a good story, though. It hasn't bored me, really, per se.
Right. I'm pleasantly surprised with 90% of it. I think I probably was just saying to you, but the things that sort of take me out of it are she's kind of lazy about just certain things feels lazy, like the slacker hacker thing in the governance building and government building. And there's a bunch of those that there's like, I don't know. I think either, for me, it just takes me out of whatever it is that's going on or whatever we're reading.
There's
about.
definitely some Handmaid Tale vibes to it too.
Right. So, and I don't know, whatever. It doesn't even really bother me.
Do you consider that sci-fi?
Like Stepford Wives and stuff? I guess maybe technically I would consider it sci-fi. But, man, I like the Stepford Wives and the Handmaid's Tale. It's like horror, I would consider.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, have you read it?
I watched the Stepford Files and my wife watched the Hulu show, and
Yeah.
I saw like one of the versions of it a long time ago. So.
Yeah, it's very depressing.
Well, it's all perspective. I'm pretty happy with most of it.
You liked the idea of everything?
No, I'm just kidding. I like the idea of sounding misogynistic more than actually being misogynistic.
Why is that, you think?
No, I just think it's funny. It is funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the elections, but at the very least,
Yeah, how you handling that?
that night I didn't handle it well. I did not handle it well. I'll admit that. Like I was expecting at least a wave. I did not. I got a puddle. I wasn't.
You got a wake.
I got
like a boat wake.
I know, and that's very funny. You were very funny, and honest to God, I thought I was all hilarious. He ribbed me all day yesterday about it. It fine. I would have probably been doing the same thing, so I took it like a man, and all well and good. I'm fine because there's still gridlock and nothing's gonna ever get done, and that's what was gonna happen anyways. Disappointed in that like it swung really far to the left. There's no harm in it swinging really far to the right. It'll settle somewhere in between. The further to the right we go, the better off we're going to be. I promise you that. Like we don't have to go all the way there. I'm just saying, like, the further that direction we go from where we are now, the better off we're going to be. I just trust me on that one.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, I think like gridlock's better than nothing.
Oh, gridlock's better than what's been going on for the last 2 years. Well, I mean, in my humble opinion, of course. But
yeah,
see, this is my latest 3D printed thing.
What is it?
Well, it's the Death Star, as you can probably see.
Does it spin though?
Yeah, it's a little weed grinder, right?
Oh, cool. Does it work okay?
Oh yeah, it works great. So check this out. So, and then it's got these little holes in the bottom.
For the keef.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's kind of fun. It's more like a fidget spinner for me than anything else.
Did you get that? Like, did you come up with the plans, or do you like pick them from a website?
From a website. I do have like what's called Tinkercad and like 3D design and 3D fusion, and I do make my own stuff when I need to, but I'm not very good at it. I'm good enough to make this stuff, and like you would definitely want me in the apocalypse, but I'm not like a German
You could make guns if you could make a gun, right?
I could. Yes. Now, a plastic one, how it's going to fire once, maybe, and maybe a 22, maybe, but I could make one for sure. And if I had, what they're selling now is CNC mills.
How long would it take one?
how long would it take to make a gun that would work? Like if I had the CNC machine, would I don't know a couple days I should say, probably maybe a week or two to make the gun.
And it fires one. It fires one bullet.
That one. No, I bet you I could probably make. I mean, I've looked at the plans and everything, but I've never like really dug into it. But I bet you could print that it pretty quick, like in a day. That it's called the It was in that movie, in the line of fire. That was pretty accurate, like the way that guy made that gun. I don't think he 3D printed his version of it, but it's pretty much the same sort of thing. It's not like a gun like you would think of a gun. It's more like a thick block of plastic that has the mechanisms to fire a bullet. And like I said, from my understanding of it, you can get maybe 1 or 2 shots off before the thing disintegrates in your hand or blows up. What they're really talking about when they talk about the 3D files, the 3D printing files and things like that, is if you can get your hands on two things, really. It's like a CNC machine to mill all the metal parts that you really need. And then you still kind of need, as far as I can tell, like the rifling barrel is pretty hard to make. Like you still kind of need that. But I don't know. That's as far as I ever got into it.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
I did.
The Spanish Inquisition wasn't a good thing.
Yeah, you get that reference though, right?
It was from the Princess Bride or something. It was from
Not the Princess Bride.
whatever.
It's Monty Python. Oh, and my daughter's away too. Lucky me.
Lucky bio, dude.
More for you.
I think I might have to break early tonight, anyways.
Okay.
Continue your show. I just wanted to say hi.
I can hear her too, though. She's screaming in the background.
Yeah. That doesn't lead to a happy wife, huh?
No, it does not. It does not. But, so I'm not sure if I want to do the Chaos book next either. Like I kind of would rather do like a holiday kind of something light. I am sort of getting into this, but I'm not enjoying it yet. So we'll see how the next 10 chapters go. We could do like, well, we'll figure something out as far as that goes.
Yeah, well, couldn't we do like an anthology of Christmas books and do a couple a week? Like they'll be like the long form version. Yeah, like it would be like I had this book as a kid, The Little Match Girl. I don't know if you ever heard that one. It's about this homeless girl that essentially freezes to death outside and becomes an angel.
That sounds
she had
horrible.
matches that wouldn't.
I'm down. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, hey, so, well, I mean, I don't hear any more yelling yet. Should we do some Dear Abby before we leave?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure if there's a lag or something tonight.
Everything's
so it might seem
fine.
like I'm lower energy.
Oh, is that what it is? You do seem low energy, to say the least. Let's see. Let's see. Queer couple plan life together on their terms. It's kind of what we're doing, right?
Yeah. What is it? Sorry.
Never mind. Old-fashioned custom is still the best way to say thanks. Old-fashioned custom. I don't know. Couples divorce. Still raw subject after a year. No. Pedo Rocky 3-year romance.
I want to hear what they consider temper.
Okay, let's do it. Woman's temper torpedoes Rocky 3-year romance. I'm not too loud, am I? How would you know? Dear Abby, I'm 59 years old, single man who was dating a 42-year-old woman for the past 3 years. The whole time we dated, she was going through a divorce. I supported her and helped her through it. The papers were signed 4 months ago. Her relationship with her ex started when she was 16 and lasted 26 years.
Can I say something? Thank you.
What do you want to say? Is that all?
He was just singing.
That was that. That was all.
When she was 16 and lasted 26 years, they have. Oh, it started when she was 16 and lasted 26 years. They have a 14-year-old daughter together. Their relationship was emotionally abusive. We had a lot in common and loved doing things together, but our relationship was rocky. During the time we were together, we split up 3 times because she would get upset with me over simple things, but would never have a conversation to try and work it out. She has a short fuse, and her temper goes from 0 to 60 in a heartbeat. Our 4th argument was our last. She told me to take my things and get out. I love her. I don't think there should be a problem here. Like, he told him to leave. But anyways, before let me finish it up here. Heartbeat. Our 4th argument was she told me to leave. I loved her. I love her. And when I told her so many times, she would respond the same way. I love her more than I can explain in words. I'm not her ex. I'm nothing like him. I've done things for her that any woman would melt over. She told me on my way out the door that she doesn't want a relationship and never did. She wants to be alone. After all the time I invested in us, I was crushed. We are still friends on Facebook. If I text her, she will read it but won't respond. Should I give up and move on or let her figure her life out? I hope she realizes we had something special. Pushed aside in Pennsylvania.
What a pussy.
Okay. Is that your professional?
No, I mean, I think clearly she has some problems, and like she's maybe a little vulnerable and a little moody after such a long relationship. Just like give her some space. It seems like he's jumping on her right when she's out of a relationship.
I think what I really honed in on, so to speak, is it was their 4th fight. Like, I don't know, man. Like, they weren't together that long. Either like the 4th, like it's the 4th fight. If they were fighting the whole time, then I just something about that says to me like
he's a bit narcissistic too.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing is like he's cutting and running, and it's probably best because I don't think he's gonna I don't think he's gonna be able to stick around anyways if she's spazzing out at him all the time. And he's writing Dear Abby by the 4th one. Let's see what they have to say though.
What do you think the percentage of men who write to Dear Abby, like every other letter, every 50 letters?
I would say 1 out of 10, probably 1 out of 8. I'd say 1 out of 8.
Yeah, there's a lot of lonely people out there.
Yeah, and older too. Like this guy's in his 50s, and she was 16 to 26 too. Man, that's a weird. That's pretty young. Like she's got some stuff going on too. Like she's got stuff going on. Trust me. All right.
Yeah.
Dear,
well, divorcing. Can you imagine like a 26-year routine you've built around this one life? Then you have to change it the next day.
Especially when you started it at 16. Like, I mean, I don't know. That would seem like leaving that situation would be very scary, I would think. Dear pushed aside.
Yeah.
When a woman with a fuse that goes from 0 to 60 in a heartbeat tells you she doesn't want a relationship with you and never did, it's safe to conclude that for the past 3 years, you've been used. Ooh, wow, that's harsh, though. Has it occurred to you that the verbal abuser in her past relationships may have been her? Ooh, wow, okay. Please, for your own sake, take a hint. Look for someone who will appreciate you, return love, kindness, and offer. Although you may not think so now, you just have dodged a bullet. And that's what I was saying. Like, she told him to get lost. He needs to get lost. Like, there's not much. It's the fourth fight. Like I said, if they've been fighting for 3 years, that's different. Like, they've had 4 fights, and she told him to get lost, and he's whining about it. This isn't gonna work. Trust me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like it when she's direct.
She's almost always direct. She's not nearly as bad as I thought she was going to be when we started this endeavor. Let's do a parenting.
It would be funny because these kind of columns have been around forever. We should look at some from like the 50s, like what some of the questions are.
I tried to go back. It's like I tried to go back to my birthday, but I couldn't find anything. Well, I didn't try.
We should find out if there's a list of people that have done these articles.
This one here, Focus on the Family Guy. I used to listen to Focus on the Family. They had a big radio footprint, especially in the Midwest. And that's where I was. Anyways, though, I think
when we drove up to Arcadia in Maine, they have a lot of religious stations. Like every other station on the FM dial is like.
I really missed the AM days. Like when you would. At the time, I was traveling for work, and you fly into any of these cities, anywhere, and you just flip over the AM station and sort of hit it, and it would just be either like some foreign language or Rush or Glenn. It was very comforting. You could always find all the same guys, and then you get the local stuff too. I miss those days. I miss really good terrestrial radio. The guys right now that are on are terrible. The guys that took over Rush are terrible. The guys that the morning talk show guys.
I hate Clay Travis.
I can't stand him. Like Buck said, you're right. Like it is Clay that drives me nuts. But like it bothers me that they're in his slot too. I don't think I would have listened to anybody that they put there. And then using his
Rush
bumper
is
music
rolling around in his grave.
Oh my God, yes. And on top of that, using his bumper music, I don't care if they if he said to use it or not. That I will just never get over that. Just never. I'm just
sorry. It's just funny.
I was very emotional this week, and I was making my wife's coffee, and I always make it the way that Rush made it. Like he put the cream in first. And I actually teared up over it.
That's cute. I'm not laughing. It's just funny. Because not everybody gets sad because they use a certain music or upset. Because one show used music from another show. Or because he's gonna put something else on his RSS feed, you get mad at him for it.
It's very similar, right? They're almost as. I mean, it's in the same vein. It's simply just we'll just have respect. That's the. Oh my God, that's a good point. Kirk has been very meticulous about putting other stuff out on his own feed. Did he address what seems to be hypocrisy at the moment to me?
Yeah, well, it seems like he isn't going to even take the RSS feed. If you watch the show today.
Right. So it was a 40-minute show, and it didn't pop up on the RSS feed, so I haven't heard it yet. I just listened to all the clips.
Yeah, no. So he said, like on the show today, he was talking to Culinate, and he said they wanted to do this because when I leave in 2024, I'm not going to take the RSS feed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I did hear him say that. I just didn't register. I see. Yeah, right. And that's what they were saying. Now that you say that, that's what they were saying on Twitter too. Is like it's not, or somebody was saying it's not that it's a great idea, but it's not a bad idea to just see sort of get an idea. But that's silly because like there's tons of people that are just going to download it because they don't know that. Like I wouldn't have known if I wasn't on Twitter. There's tons of people like that are going to still download it, and they're not going to keep listening, and they're going to be pissed. I bet.
What's the percentage of people? What's the percentage of people that aren't on Twitter though? At least
not
that.
a lot.
Check
about that, and it's even less. It's even less lately, or maybe I'm just not funny lately. Well, anyways, I guess I'm not.
I think you're funny.
No, I'm just
you're
saying.
Funny when you're not even trying.
Well, that's that's the upshot to it. But it's been quiet, and I think that all my conservative bros are all depressed, so that's why you're not hearing any of that. And then I think the Minifans,
mass suicide.
I think on both sides, like the Minifans have been pretty quiet too. So, or like I said, maybe I've just been super annoying. I know I came in hot like Monday and Tuesday. I was happy and excited.
So I actually have this theory. I want to run this theory by you.
Please.
I think 2 years of COVID made Twitter this thing that was so huge. And now that people are back to their normal lives, I think that's why there's not as much activity on Twitter.
I absolutely think that that's part of it. I mean, like it's a great outlet. It still is a great outlet. It's a great outlet, like for me to get sort of that humor, that jokes, the things that I just sort of want to try and, try out on people. Because
back then when we were on lockdown.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's fair.
It was like the only way to communicate and like socialize.
Yeah. Well, it's also very cyclical too. It goes, like there'll be times when it just gets, and it's all a lot of it's driven around. Certainly, my Twitter feed is either driven around KMS or politics. And if we take if the conservatives take a drubbing like they did, and I personally think they took a drubbing, it quiets everybody down.
Well, they did. I mean, like they underestimated how big abortion was.
I think you're right. If I had to guess as to the
young people, they call it stupid.
I did it myself. I was sort of laughing about it, and I was wrong. And Smugsy eventually called me out because I cracked on her. She was joking about the voting block, the women voting block that was going to kind of deliver whatever to whoever. And I thought it was the same people, but I don't think it is. Was I telling you this? I was telling somebody this earlier in the week. So the article essentially was like the new voting block that's really going to swing things is this urban mom as opposed to the suburban mom, which was like last year or whatever. And I was sort of laughing about it. I was like, that's the same thing. I don't think it is. I think that the suburbans did vote conservative and voted, sane people in. But I think the urban moms or urban women kind of went more for that abortion. And, I think that's what it was, too. Just sort of a one vote kind of people. And there's a lot of those people out there, way more than I anticipated.
Yeah, and I think new sort of people my age don't just vote up and down a ticket.
No, not at all. You really saw that. They got to get the Republicans, the conservative side. They got to get rid of Mitch McConnell. They got to get rid of McCarthy. Why he ever had any power is beyond me. Like Jim Jordan should have been the guy.
Oh fuck!
Years ago. Well, okay. So, who would you suggest then?
He would probably be a good one. Definitely not Matt Gaetz.
Oh, Matt Gates. I like that guy too. Anybody that drives people nuts, I like. It doesn't even matter.
That Lauren Boebert girl might lose.
No, I mean, well, yes, you're right. But I was just watching something before we started this, and it looks like she's gonna win. Arizona is so weird, man. Like, it's still a toss up, I guess.
Between who?
Both of them, the mayor Lake and Hobbs or something, and the Senate race with Kelly and Master something. McMaster.
I think Kelly's gonna win.
That's what people are saying. That's what most people are saying. Yeah, I mean, how do I know? I thought it was going to be.
Blake Masters is one of those people I don't like.
Well, okay. So what I'm hearing is like, you don't even see it on Twitter. January 6th really wasn't anything. Like, it was nothing. It was a joke. I laughed about it the whole day. People should have laughed about it. It was not an insurrection. But I guess a lot of people took it way more serious than I did. Clearly the government did, because they're arresting people over it still. But
well, so Blake Masters, what I'll talk about is he had this like thing on his website where CNN caught him. He had this thing on his website where he was like, no exception for abortion guy. And then as soon as he started getting like the numbers, he deleted everything from his website and put like a new like thing.
Well, that's a great point. Like, what? Why would anybody want to get into politics? You have to like bend.
You have to be a sociopath.
At least a little bit. At least a little bit,
yeah.
Because you have to at the bare minimum you have to bend your own like views and beliefs, and like something like that's shitty. The McMaster's thing or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he's one of those though, like Steve. He gives me Stephen Miller vibes.
Yeah. Well, I think the big picture. I think you're never going to stop Trump, but I think that it might have at least.
Oh, that was a. Did you see that post?
I did not see the post.
DeSantis.
Yeah, I saw that he posted it. I didn't read it yet, but like this is. It's not going to hurt DeSantis.
You want to do a live You want to do a live reaction? Pull it up. Read it.
I don't want to. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with him right now. He is exhausting. I was thinking about it this morning.
There's 7 pieces where you can point to his narcissism.
Oh, so
he goes like, Ron came to me begging, and he's a good public relation. He was a failing governor when we talked.
He is impossible to defend. I don't need to. Like, I voted for him because he's irritating. I thought that was hilarious. That has not changed. And I would vote for him again because it's hilarious. It's funny. It just is. It's nothing to do with politics. That being said, like, he's such a pain in the ass. And there's just no way you could stop him from running, too. He's going to run. And he's going to beat up DeSantis.
He's like a Richard Nixon on roids.
Richard Nixon respected the party and respected the idea that like Republicans needed to get in. He didn't attack other Republicans the night and the day before the
And they did really good, and like it was the only bright spot for the Republican Party.
I think I believe that in the end it's gonna turn out for the best, because I think I think it might have put the nail in the coffin for Trump. I mean, I just was sort of half joking about voting.
You're going to see conservatives are going to start looking into it now. They're going to start looking into like all the investigations and start agreeing to bury him.
Oh, to bury him. They don't let, here's the thing. Here's absolutely the thing. His voting bloc, his base, they're the loud, crazy conservatives. So the loud, crazy liberals, you see them all the time. You know who they are. The loud, crazy conservatives are his base. There's just not a lot of them. They're just super loud, like the real hardcore ones. And on top of that, they don't vote down ticket either. By the way, so he has no coattails. Like he's just going to be a pain in the ass going forward now, which is fine. I love that too. Yeah, I mean it's fine.
Yeah, he's going to burn all. He's going to burn all his bridges.
That's fine. He needs to. He's almost over with anyways. I'll let the Democrats win again. I'll let it go to shit even more. It's perfectly fine with me. I'm in a relatively safe industry, and you guys are the ones voting for him, not me. I'm telling you, it's bad news. That's my take.
Who? What guys? Me? Me and the liberals?
Our
audience.
All of you. That's the other thing. All of you. I don't think that anything was stolen. I think that you guys this is what you want. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I was fine with that before. Go for it. Have at it.
I don't vote up and down the ticket either.
No, I don't mean to put you. I put you into that group just as a sort of a joke.
I voted for Baker.
That's yeah. There's your bona fides. All right. No, that's
Baker's
the thing.
What a Kennedy would have been like now in the Republican Party. Kennedy would be a Republican. John F. Kennedy.
It's worse. I kept getting these ads for Cruz, who I do like. He's like the attorney general for the district or whatever, and I do like him. But all of the emails was him like getting patted on the back by Baker, and like at parties with Baker. And it's like that's not selling me on you, buddy. I almost wrote in DeSantis. That's what I did, by the way. I wrote in DeSantis for any spot that wasn't a Republican.
You're an anarchist, bro.
I am. I do. I like that Mike Malice guy. He's pretty funny. You ever listen to him?
We should talk about just for a second. I can't believe we glossed over it. The Bruins thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was on the show too. I had a tweet early. My thing is this: like, I understand if he's not showing remorse now and he's 20 years old. I don't know. I'm not defending the 20-year-old kid. What I was saying early on in this, and I'll still stick with this, although I wish I hadn't tweeted anything. But like, he was 14 years old. Like, no matter how bad it is, you gotta let a guy have a life, have a career.
Yeah, but he's only it's only been 5 years ago, dude.
Right. Well, so then, like, he's a kid,
and he's still harassing him. They found like
okay,
the guy
that's the part.
Released.
So that's the thing, right? That's the part that's why I was like, well, I wish I hadn't tweeted that, and I don't want to back down from the idea that he's 14 years old. The problem is that, yeah, I guess the guy is a real asshole and he's still doing it.
That's a big problem.
Certainly is. Should have looked into that before I tweeted, but
yeah, and the fact of the matter is, it's like all this bad. Like Kirk was right though; they fucked it up because they should have never looked into it. And like, I think the kid was a non-speaker, but he communicates with a board or something. And the guy was still like asking him questions. Why do your parents do all this shit for you? And that's not good.
No, it's not good at all. I like I said, I still, if he's still doing it, then have at it. That's just unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Like what? And, my other thing was like, if you're gonna punish anybody, punish his parents. His parents are the assholes. Like, what is going on there?
Right. Yeah, my name is Sigmund Freud, a hand. So you are right. It always goes back to the family.
It always goes back to the dad or the mom.
Well, I mean, there would never be a serial killer if they all had like me and you. You know, if those were our kids.
Yeah, you think you would have been good with Ed Kemper?
Yeah, because if we could do that, I wonder, that would be an interesting experiment. Like with time travel, we bring like a serial killer when they're like an infant into our upbringing and see what happens.
Time travel. The getting back to the book, how she transfers down to the planet. That's another one of those things. So the author is a lazy.
I don't even think about it because I can't. I wouldn't get it even if they could explain it.
Okay, well, it's lazy. She's being super fucking lazy. Like the whole thing is the lithium crystals from Star Trek. Like it's not even she even calls them crystals. The crystals that power the device that transports her to Earth in an instant. Like I don't know. That stuff bothers me. She's being lazy.
Yeah, but what is it? But nobody's there for that. That's the problem. Like no sci-fi nerd was like this. This is a sci-fi book.
I think you're right. Yeah. I have to remember
nobody in the world has noticed that, but you. But you.
I have to remember the audience. Fair enough.
What was the final Jeopardy question tonight?
I didn't watch it tonight. I haven't watched it the last couple nights. Trying to get my
dude. How upsetting was it for you when it was a new host?
Alex Trebek's another one. Like I read his biography. He's another one of those guys who's like, I cried a little bit over.
Would you call all these guys father figures?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know about Alex. Certainly Rush for sure. Glenn, maybe a little bit with Glenn. Like I don't know. Glenn's a tough one because like I think I really like his sort of his moral streak, but like I don't find him very funny anymore. And I kind of wonder if he was ever funny. But yeah. Now I'm just stuck because it's part of my routine.
You were isolated. You know, so these were your only references.
Right, and they were right in my wheelhouse. I mean, it's pretty much how I was taught. Yeah. You know, so
it was like throwing the chum to the sharks.
Rush was for sure.
It was like, he gets me. Nobody gets me.
I was probably in like 9th grade. I remember being so upset about NAFTA, like Bill Clinton signing NAFTA and Rush calming me down because Rush was okay with it, and that's just sort of changed my whole attitude about it. Like it was one of the first things that seemed very out of character for a conservative to be all about. It's just North American free trade. They call it. You know what happened is like Obama changed it a little bit, and then it came all back around again with Trump, and then he wanted to change. He wanted to rename it something after himself or something. So it's something new now. I don't even know what it's called now.
Oh, that's a sweet story though.
I guess so. I have a lot of those. The one I was telling you was before we started the show, right? About putting the coffee, or was that during the show?
You didn't tell me. Finish it.
Oh, it was just putting the coffee in, putting the creamer in the bottom of the coffee.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I can't remember now if I said that before or after the show started. We started it.
I think it's like so you knew him since you were like 14, Rush.
Yeah, probably. Maybe a little bit younger than that, but yeah, that's about right. I saw his show. I actually was living way up in like the hills in New Hampshire, and I don't think we probably couldn't get his radio station at the time. So this is like 88, 89. But right then he had a TV show too, and that's where I first found him, was on that TV show, which was really funny. It was like a late night talk show that lasted, I don't know, 8, 9, 20 episodes, who knows. But yeah, and then I didn't hear from him again for a couple of years, and then when we moved out of that little town, and I found him on the radio, and then it was like never looked back.
It's nice to think about that kind of stuff.
I think about that all the time because there's just nothing to listen to, other than women warriors.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, that's been about an hour. I think I'll be done with the book by next week. Oh, hey, we got Thanksgiving coming up. Are we going to do one next week? It's going to be getting pretty close to the holidays.
I'm 50-50 on it.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll just see how the
we'll
week
talk
goes.
throughout the week. We'll keep the public
wanting more. In suspense.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for coming. Let's see if I gotta find the thing to turn you off.